Welcome back. Let's kick it off with number 20, which is Contagion. This story is about a virus that spreads across the world and the various attempts to contain it. It was pretty intense, and it's another film I saw on the plane back from Japan. Even though I fell asleep during it, I don't think that was down to the fact that it was a bad movie. I liked it, generally. God, I like all this end-of-the-world stuff. Number 19 is Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This is the last of all of these films that I've seen. And believe it or not, I've actually not seen the originals, which I know I'm going to get slaughtered for, but I enjoyed it a lot as a standalone film. I thought Daniel Craig was really good in it, as was Rooney Mara. The film had some excellent twists and turns that I didn't see coming at all. Obviously, I would have if I'd seen the original films. Also, I like the soundtrack and direction a lot because, obviously, Social Network was my favourite film of last year. Number 18 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, I've never been the biggest Harry Potter fan, but I thought it was a pretty fitting ending to the franchise. Probably the best of the lot, I would say. There were some really cool action scenes in there, definitely, and it was well directed. I wasn't too keen on the ending. I thought it was a bit of a letdown at that point. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good package, and I hope the fans are happy with how it turned out. Well, actually, I hope they're not, because I like seeing fanboys rage. So yeah, fuck you guys. Number 17 is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I was really surprised at the quality of this title. I was kind of expecting it to be really cheesy and kind of just a money-grabbing title, but it really surprised me. It's the second to last film I've seen this year, and I thought Tom Cruise and his subcast were really good, particularly Jeremy Renner. I certainly wouldn't be against seeing more of this franchise with these actors, and definitely more of the cool action scenes. Number 16 is Melancholia. Now, this is the sort of film that could have been right up there in the, upper echelons of this list, only if the first half of it were better. There was kind of a lot of downtime there, and I thought it kind of actually got boring at points, but the second half really pulled it back, and I loved the last 30 minutes. The ending is pretty remarkable. The final scene is probably my favorite standalone moment of the year, and that's saying a lot. So I think it's kind of a shame that this film disappointed me in some respects, because it definitely could have been right up there for me with my favorites. In at number 15 is X-Men First Class. This is another film that was surprisingly good, and I loved the action scenes and just how refreshing it all felt. I want to see more of the characters for sure in a follow-up, if that ever happens. Number 14 is The Fighter. It feels like so long ago since this came out. I'm not a huge boxing fan, but the film is terrifically acted with a lot of passion, and you really got into the characters in the film, and you either loved them or you hated them. The story translated really well to screen, and I think Christian Bale really stole the show, and he won Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars. Mark Wahlberg was also really good in this film. Even if you don't like boxing, I would recommend this film just because it's an interesting story. Number 13 is Point Blank, and I think this is definitely one that's flown under the radar. It is a French action film about an innocent man who is thrown into the deep end when his wife is kidnapped. The action scenes are insane and really intense. If you're watching this video and you haven't seen it and you're an action fan, you pretty much owe yourself to do it. In at number 12 is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Once again, this is a film that surprised me. I thought the trailers looked kind of dumb, to be honest, with these animated monkeys. I thought it looked kind of strange, but the execution in the end with the film as a whole was really good. I thought it's the only film I actually saw in a cinema during my time in Japan, and I thought it was just a really awesome experience. It was really fun to sit through. I like James Franco in the film. I think he was very good, and just as a whole, it was a good watch. I'd very much like to see more of the characters, and hopefully they do a sequel or something. Number 11 is True Grit. This was a stunning film visually that was definitely deserving of all the Oscar nominations it got last year. The acting's awesome, with a really strong cast. It's definitely the best Western film I've seen in quite a long time. So that is the last movie I'm going to talk about during this part of the countdown. Tune in next time for the next video where I'll count down the top 10.